Hello, today I'm going to take you on a story time video about how I ended up getting diagnosed with something called autoimmune atrophic gastritis recently. Let's go. So first I'm gonna explain what autoimmune atrophic gastritis is. And I have my lovely Surface laptop with me. Autoimmune atrophic gastritis, or AAG, is a chronic condition where the body's immune system mistakenly attacks and damages the stomach lining, specifically the parietal cells responsible for producing stomach acid and intrinsic factor. So, how did I get diagnosed with this? Well, we are gonna have to go back like 5 years ago. I don't know if any of you have watched all the way from my beginning of my vlogs and my YouTube channel, but one of my symptoms that I was experiencing for a long time was this weird and annoying cough that just would not go away. And we went to my doctor and they thought it was maybe pneumonia. They thought maybe it was, ironically, acid reflux and all these things. Finally, I went to get an endoscopy, which is basically where they take a camera and put it all the way down your throat into your stomach to look to see if anything weird is happening. And remember, this was in COVID times, so it was very stressful to get any medical procedure done. I did get it done. I did not vlog it because I was really scared. But that endoscope showed that I had something called H. pylori. Awful condition. It sucks. H. pylori is a nasty gut infection. And how you get rid of H. pylori is you basically go on a really big antibiotic treatment, which basically makes you run to the bathroom. And how you get rid of H. pylori is you are just peeing a lot and number twoing a lot. It was awful, and I did that for 2 weeks. But the treatment worked, and I ended up getting rid of the H. pylori. Interesting fact about H. pylori is that H. pylori is a condition that is not necessarily something that you can cure because it ends up getting locked into, like, I'm not a medical professional, so disclaimer, this might not be totally accurate, but basically it gets like locked into your body and you go what is called remission. So I'm in remission from H. pylori. And every 3-ish years I have to get an endoscope to check if the H. pylori has returned or not. There are 3 ways to test for H. pylori. Something called a breath test, a blood test, or an endoscope, where they basically just snip a tiny piece of your intestines or your stomach lining, and they check to see if you have said bacteria. One of the annoying things about H. pylori is once you end up getting it in your system, you cannot take the blood test ever again because it will show up in your blood. Like I said previously, it will always be detected in your body, such as blood tests. So it will come up as a false positive. So that's why you either have to do an endoscope or a breath test, which I just recently did a month ago, because it's recommended that when you get H. pylori, you get retested every couple of years. So I went to do an endoscope, and that came back negative, but she noticed that my stomach lining still looked a little unhappy and inflamed. So the doctor made me go to get a breath test, and I had to get a whole bunch of other labs done. So the couple of tests that I had to get done was a breath test to confirm I didn't have H. pylori, my vitamin B12, which the results were 509, my ferritin, which was 27, which was low, my gastrin, which was 1,245, and that should be below 100. They went to test my partial cell antibody, which was flagged, and my anti-intrinsic factor, which was negative. So one of the reasons why the doctor had to look at my B12 levels and my iron levels is because autoimmune atrophic gastritis, we can struggle with absorbing iron and B12. Now, what was interesting about this was over the past year, I had been noticing that I was losing a ton of weight for kind of no reason. I'm gonna say weight right now, and if this bothers you or is in some, I don't want to trigger anyone. So I'm a small person. I am only 5 feet. Please, if you are not 5 feet, like don't look at my weight and be like, oh, I want to be that. Please don't. Okay, so my weight is my highest weight was like 105, which is good. I should be around there. But in the last year or two, I noticed it dropping more and more and more and more. And it was a little bit scary. We thought that I was starting to do more fitness stuff and more training, so we thought that maybe I was using more energy than I was eating. And I dropped down to 89 pounds in November. And we got very, very scared, and we were like, oh my God, we need to figure this out. So I went to the doctor, and we did a whole bunch of blood tests, and all the blood tests came back normal, except for my iron level, which was very low. I forget what the number was, but I think it was like at 14 or something. So it was very low, but we just thought, oh, take some iron pills and just eat more. Lo and behold, my weight loss was probably from my now autoimmune condition, because one of the symptoms is losing drastic amount of weight in a short period of time. Because it's the immune system attacking my stomach lining, antibodies are proteins that are a part of your immune system and help fight bacteria and viral infection. In AAG, antibodies attack your healthy stomach cells. Your antibodies may also attack a protein released by your stomach cells or your intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor usually helps to absorb B12. Without intrinsic factor, your body may not be able to make healthy red blood cells. This can lead to pernicious anemia. A lack of vitamin B12 may also cause nerve damage, neuropathy. It can cause a whole bunch of neurological conditions. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful in noticing those neurological symptoms as I just go along with this condition. Some of the symptoms of B12 deficiency could be chest pain, dizziness, lightheadedness, weakness, heart palpitation, mental confusion, nausea, vomiting, pale skin, rapid pulse, ringing in your ears, tingling and numbness in your limbs. So those are symptoms that I now have to look for and make sure that I am not B12 deficient. Right now I am not. My iron level's low, so we're gonna have to try to figure that out. I can't take the iron pills because they really hurt my stomach, but I'll have to look up for those symptoms. Another thing that I have to look out for is I am now at a pretty high risk for stomach cancer, which is really scary and not something that I want to think about. One of the things that I can do to sort of get checked for stomach cancer and make sure that's not progressing is I have to get blood work done and to check for my iron level and B12 to make sure those aren't dropping. And I have to now get an endoscopy every year. So I have to get blood work every year and an endoscope. Because I am just got diagnosed, those two things will happen in about 6 months. So I will have to get blood work done again and get an endoscope again in 6 months. If at some point that my B12 starts to drop, I will then have to do B12 injections to be able to get my vitamin B12 elevated. So I'm very thankful that right now my B12 is good, because I really don't want to have to do manual injections. That scares me a ton. But apparently, when you do get B12 injections, it makes you feel way better very quickly. Your symptoms tend to decrease at a very fast rate. So probably if I end up having to need B12 shots, it will be because I am feeling absolutely crappy. So hopefully the wanting to feel better will be a very good incentive for me to do manual injections for myself. But hopefully I won't have to do any of that. But it's something that I have to look out for in blood work now. Dietary standards, we talked to the doctor who did my endoscope, and we asked, like, hey, lifestyle changes, and she basically said, nope, you are fine. But of course I looked on the internet to figure out, like, how can I slow any of these symptoms down. Cancer is a pretty scary thing. How can I, like, drop my risk as low as possible? So I'm trying to cut out a little bit of processed food and sugar, which is really hard for me because I love processed food and sugar. I absolutely love my fuzzy peaches and my goldfish. The goldfish extreme cheddar is my favorite, and I can't have it anymore, which sucks. And I love my candy and my fuzzy peaches and my Sour Patch Kids. So I've been trying to get candy that is on the lower sugar side or sugar free, which is not the same, and it makes me sad. So I try not to think about it. But yeah, I just got diagnosed with an autoimmune condition. Yay! Not really. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!